Welcome to another exciting video. In this video I will talk about the most aggressive opening which is played with the black pieces, and this is the Benko Gambit. Let's see. It starts with this d4 line. After knight f6, this c4, now c5. This is the beginner's mistake when white is just capturing it. After this e5, you are attacking this pawn and there is no good way to defend it. But beginner commit this mistake and play this line. But obviously after few of the moves you will not be able to save that pawn because this rook is hanging. So obviously do not make the beginner's mistake after recapturing it. So after this move, the most logical move here is to push this pawn. Now the fun starts. You play this b5 and this is the Benko Gambit. Now if white accepts the sacrifice, then you again offer another pawn. After it goes for the capture, you capture with the bishop, and whenever this pawn is going to move, you surely gonna recapture with the bishop, and now ruining the king side of the white. And you can challenge the center in few of the moves and you will be perfectly fine at this position. You can attack after developing this bishop and just castle. B file is open and A file is open. You will have a great attacking chances. But let's see, if white doesn't accept this sacrifice, then this is even worse. After this pawn is protected, you challenge in the center, and now after this e3 move, you capture here, and now capturing with the bishop is not a good idea because the center is falling. So capturing with this pawn would be forced. You can now sacrifice this knight, and after pawn goes for the capture, you play this queen f6, and now you are attacking this rook. So white will have to give up some material, and now you capture it with the check, and now you will have a good attacking chances after it retreats back on f6 square. So it will have a great winning chances. After it goes for the capture, you have this open f file, bishop is gonna develop, and now you surely gonna castle in the next move. White will take 2 or 3 moves to still castle, and you are simply winning after this d5 line. So I will show you one of my games which I played with the Benko Gambit and defeated my opponent rated above 2000 on chess.com. So let's see. Getting back to the starting position, the game started with this c4. This is the English opening, and now this knight is jumping. Then d4, this is the same line. c5, we challenge in the center. This pawn is getting pushed. Now the Benko Gambit starts. Here pawn captures, so I offered the another pawn. Now let's see. My opponent knows about this trick, so he is not accepting the sacrifice of the second pawn. Now I captured with the pawn. Bishop captures, now striking in the center. This is the theory of this gambit. You have to challenge in the center. After it captures, I captured with the f pawn so that my f file would be opened up. After the knight is developed, I challenged this bishop, and now bishop captures, knight captures, white castle. I will quickly go through the opening. After d5, this knight is developed, and now I castled. At this position, bishop is developed. I took this opportunity to push this c4 move and creating a hole on b3 because this knight can surely jump here to here. So white played this move, and now after the knight is jumping, white knew that this square is going to be really difficult task to prevent for white. So after the queen is developed, this queen is now protecting the pawn. So I played eventually this knight on b3. After captures, this queen is attacked, so queen should move. Now the rook is coming on this c file. After several maneuvers with this rook, because I always wanted to develop this rook up on the c file because this is the only open file. After the bishop is developed, I will have to move my queen because in the next move I will have some discoveries when this pawn moves. So obvious, queen is moving, and this is the crucial moment of this game. This is the inaccuracy, and you can find the best move for black. I played here bishop captures the pawn. Now let's see what is the catch. If the pawn captures, then surely I'm gonna win the knight, and this is perfectly fine. White is going to lose this pawn, and I will have this passed v pawn. So completely winning for me. But after this capture, my opponent said, okay, if you have captured my pawn, then I can capture yours. And after you recapture mine, I will capture your bishop, and this was played in the game. Then I attacked the queen first. When the queen moves, I captured the pawn. The pawn is coming. Now few of the checks, but knight is in time to protect each of the square. Now this rook is attacked, but we don't need to move the rook. First, there is an intermediate move, this rook. And now here best move is to capture this rook. After capture and captures, white should capture the rook. And this is a good position for white. After I bring the knight into the game, this pawn is not going to be promoted. And there is a trap. If I try to go for this bishop, and if by mistake I play this line, then definitely this is the trap, and the queen is trapped, and I will lose the game. So obviously this was the option. After when I played this intermediate rook a8, but my opponent played this queen g5 line. Now moving the rook out of the way. So rook is coming to attack this pawn. I played this queen c4 while attacking this bishop and also protecting the pawn. Here white played a very dubious move. This queen on e3. This is a very natural looking move, but this is losing on the spot. You can pause the video to try. Now you can see this pawn is attacked, but we do not care about this pawn and play this rook a2. Now you see the problem. We are threatening to capture on this g2 square, and there is no good way. If you try to block with this rook, then definitely you're gonna lose it, and you cannot capture with the queen because you're losing it, and surely a winning position for black. So after this move, white should play this and give up this bishop for just free. And in few of the moves, this queen, this pawn, and this rook can surely end up the position. But these two moves were not played by my opponent, and he played a very dubious move with this rook, saying, okay, if you move this rook, then definitely you are going to lose the queen, but you can surely win this game. It is just checkmate in 3 moves. Let's see. I delivered a check. This is a check, so I do not have to worry about this queen. And now king moves, deliver a check, and now I deliver this wonderful checkmate using the fact this square is covered by this queen. So obviously, how was the game? By this time, you would have certainly known this gambit and you know how to play this correctly. If you play it correctly, then definitely you will win it in just few moves. So, I will see you soon in my next video with such tips and tricks. Thanks a lot.